The Pokemon format for Brilliant Stars has been almost pretty much solved, with 4 regional championships that have already happened and the European International Championships that just took place in Frankfurt, Germany. Everyone has kind of come up with everything there is to think of. And so while I was looking through some of these deck lists to find something maybe a little bit more unique, maybe a little bit more fun to play, I came across Patrick Landis's 38th place European International Championship list. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot I wanted to talk about, and I thought it was really cool. And it's a deck that I have been personally putting a little bit of time into because it's a lot of fun. So if this is something you guys might want to take to either Vancouver, Secaucus, or even Indianapolis Regionals that is happening this weekend, or Bilbao, Lille, Bremen, all these tournaments that are coming up soon. I might have messed up the last regional in Europe. I don't actually remember which one it is, but there's actually so many events left in this format, which means the format's fleshed out. Take your pick of a deck, and today we're going to go through a deck breakdown breakthrough. Now, if you guys want to suggest decks and stuff for me to do, my Discord is in the link below, down below in the description, so please click on that, join. You guys can leave suggestions for me to do content and all that kind of stuff. Also, you can, at me on Twitter, do stuff like that as well. But for the time being, I'm still rebuilding my PTCGO account from scratch because the PTCG Live experiment was a little bit of a train wreck, so I don't want to bring you guys subpar content on that client at the moment, so we're going to be focusing on PTCGO once I can build the account back up. But for now, we're going to do a deck profile and kind of talk about it. And as we go, I will almost certainly talk about all these new Astral Radiance deck profiles in just 1 week when we come back and the set list is revealed. Stay tuned next Friday, the 13th, May 13th. I will be opening a booster box and an Elite Trainer box of Astral Radiance sent to me by the Pokemon Company. So subscribe, like this video, you know the deal. Be ready for it. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be live. So we're looking here at Patrick's top 64 list. 1 game off of top 32. Maybe even 16. Like literally, like this deck did better than me. This deck did better than me at the European National Championships. So it's already worth talking about. Now Patrick employs a very easy RCS V-Star strategy to get the RCS up and running into the Urshifu to deal with the mirror match. Urshifu having the Gale Thrust attack for 150 if it comes from the bench, and the G-Max Rapid Flow for the 120-120. And then he employs the Malamar VMAX, which has Max Jammer. I think this will work this way. Nope, it did not work this way. Max Jammer, which does 180 for 2 darks and a colorless, and takes a card from your opponent's hand. You can look at the hand. You can look at the hand. So you basically go, let me see what you got, pick a card, put it to the bottom. So already you are going to be able to lock your opponent when you want them to. Then there's 1 Luminian and 1 Crobat to kind of ensure that you don't break in the early game. Now, there's also 4 copies of Marnie, which is the only draw supporter in this deck because we're just going to be Marnieing and hopefully Max Jammering our opponents, or we're going to be, Rapid Flowing or Gale Thrusting and kind of taking out their support lines. Like if decks were not playing Manaphy, which I think most decks should be doing at this point, we could G-Max Rapid Flow 2 of the Drizzles or a Sobble or something like that super early on in the game and make it so our opponent has less chances to draw what they need and kind of play the game in a way that they want to. Now, a really cool thing that Patrick did that blows my mind is play 4 copies of Piers. Piers says search your deck for an energy card and a dark type Pokemon and put them into your hand and shuffle your deck afterwards. Now, it doesn't say a basic energy, it doesn't say a dark energy, it just says an energy card. So Piers kind of gives you the guaranteed turn 2 Trinity Nova, almost always without having to burn your Starbirth. Yeah, of course, you can burn your Starbirth early, but Piers gives you the ability to get that double turbo, gives you the ability to get that rapid strike energy when you want it. Kind of lets you make these combo plays a little bit easier without having to commit too many resources. There's 3 copies of Boss's Orders because we are going to be chasing threats. We are going to be putting a lot of pressure on with both Max Jammer and the Gale Thrust, and even Trinity Nova in the early stages of the game. Also, Trinity Charge on the baby RCS is just completely fine going second. If you get the Piers off, you can set up a Malamar and an RCS in the same turn, or set up an Urshifu and an RCS in the same turn. Piers going second feels really good, so maybe Patrick opted to go second in a lot of his matchups. I don't know why he would, but I think there's a chance that going second was completely fine for Patrick here. 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra, and 3 Incense. Very, very consistent across the board. You have the 4 Quicks to, guarantee what you want, the 4 Ultras to kind of dig out any Pokemon in the deck, and the 3 Incense because, half the deck is Evolution Pokemon to kind of set up and play the game. We have 3 copies of Switch, 1 Rope, and 2 Balloon as our pivot cards, as well as the 2 Tower of Waters. Because we're playing so many big, beefy guys with not really any healing, we kind of want to keep pivoting back and forth through these cards and make it so we can actually do something without getting stuck. Malamar VMAX has 2 Retreat, Urshifu has 2 Retreat, Arceus has 2 Retreat, Luminion has 1 and Crobat has 1, but we don't really want to commit an energy to these guys to retreat them or burn the energy, because if we have to do that, we're a 1 energy per turn deck, so it's not like past our RCS attack we can accelerate more energies onto the board. So preserving those energies makes a lot of sense. To even if our attackers are damaged, we can recycle them in some capacity. There's one choice belt to add more damage, which makes a ton of sense. We have a bunch of big beefy guys, so it doesn't matter if things go down. We can almost always play the 2-3-3 prize game, because we can go RCS into Urshi into Mali, or RCS into Mali into Mali, making our opponent take the 8 prize cards that they need to take. With 5 Dark, 4 Double Turbo, and 2 Rapid Strike Energy, as well as 2 Fighting, we have all the means to attack with anything we want in our deck. I do think we could probably cut down on some of these energy counts, like the Double Turbo could probably go down because we play so many Piers. And I will say, I think the one glaring matchup issue that I see off the bat is Mew VMAX. Now, if Mew VMAX pops off, goes second, takes a knockout, and you can't respond with something, I think it's lights out. I think it's really, really, really hard to play the game. There's no Raihan. There's none of that in the deck to give you that comeback mechanic. But if you go first, kind of set up reliably, if you go first and can set up, or even go second and get the Trinity Charge off onto a Malamar, Mew will probably have a very difficult time figuring out what to chase down, what to do, and you can use your 2 Malamar VMAX expertly to kind of just stick Mew with the worst hand, take out those VMAXs. And Malamar is 310, which is really important because Mew's modifiers put it at 300 if they're not attaching a Double Turbo, and if they are attaching a Double Turbo, then they're going to need an extra modifier anyway to reach you. So it's 4 modifiers, regardless of what they're doing, which actually makes a huge difference when they have to take out 2 of these, and an Arceus potentially. So like, if Mew blows through their modifiers haphazardly, you have a really good shot at just sticking them with your big beefy boys. But the matchup is obviously dicey, because if they go second and blow you up, well, we're in a world of hurt. And then we have the Arceus matchup, which with the Urshifu paired with, max jammering them and getting rid of their good cards, we can definitely clean up the game with the typing, the weakness, and with 3 bosses, we can always chase down those Dunsparces, we can chase down those Manaphy's, we can make the game a little bit harder for them. The Rapid Strike Malamar matchup is probably abysmal, because they can just kind of one-shot you, and you can't touch you're going to keep Marnieing them, so you have to just hope that like one of the Marnies sticks, or the Marnie lasts long enough that they can't one-shot your big beefy boys, because Arceus is 7 cards they need. Urshi, unfortunately, has weakness, so not great. And the Malamar is 8 cards, so they will need a lot of cards to get rid of these 2 big boys as we go down the game plan. Whimsicott is a matchup that I think is also completely fine, because you can set up your board pretty easily by getting the Piers, getting the basic energies, just going for a Trinity Charge on turn 2 if you can, with the Piers guaranteeing it, and getting the Malamar attacking. And if you can start gutting the Whimsicott's hand, or even just like attacking with the basic energies you have in your deck, it should be really hard for Whimsicott to actually play the game. And now Urshifu is the final probably deck to talk about in the top 5. And Urshifu is a bad matchup because you do have the Arceus V-Star with no Dunsparce, but you could easily make a cut for a Dunsparce somewhere. It just kind of is a hard card to find in this deck without the Quick Ball and the Ultras. So you could make room for a Dunsparce somewhere, but the Urshifu matchup, again, comes down to, I think, you're going to have to sack an Arceus and go into Malamar and start max jammering them with the combination of Marnies, and kind of hope that one of these max jammers sticks. So I really do like this deck. I think it's very cool. I think Malamar VMAX is a very underrated card in this format and has a lot of potential moving forward. So obviously try some new stuff, guys, because your innovative ideas could spike a tournament. So thank you guys for watching as always. Like, subscribe, and leave other decks in the comments below that you want me to try out or talk about, and I will. I'll break it down. I'll break down the top 5. I'll give you like basically a free deck profile that's completely broken. All right, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.